Bonjour everyone, welcome to the player ratings after another defeat 2-1, this time at the hands of Leeds. Kendall, how are you feeling after that? I mean, a lot of people are saying it was, including myself, better second half, but let's be honest, it still wasn't great, and it was against a poor Leeds side, and we still didn't get a result.
Yeah, literally just echoing what you said, to be honest. It was all right. There was more positives in the second half than I think we've seen for quite a while now. So that was one good thing. But as you say, like Leeds, they haven't won in the last 3 games. Had they not scored or something in the last 3 either. So yeah, I mean, it was better. It was a little bit better to see, especially when Saint-Maximin came on. He changed the game for me completely. So yeah, it was better. It was not as depressing as usual. And I mean, the first half was, but the second half was a bit better.
It was. We'll get straight in it, and I'll let you start off with Karl Darlow, who kept his place tonight ahead of Martin Dubravka, who's not on the door.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised actually, because after obviously the goal against Aston Villa, the first goal the other day, I thought Dubravka probably had a chance of being back in. I personally would have probably gone with Dubravka, but I think it's a bit of a hard one, because I mean, he didn't necessarily like do anything wrong really, but he wasn't challenged a lot tonight as much as he usually is. And there was a couple of good decent saves he pulled off, but I mean, there wasn't really normally where like absolutely batting, shots off left, right, and centre. Karl Darlow was anyway, but tonight it wasn't as much. He wasn't tested as much as I think he probably has been against other teams. So Karl could have a 7 for me. I don't think he did much wrong. He saved a couple of decent, even though we have let in 2, but it wasn't really his fault, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. I think he made a good stop when it was 2-1 at the back post, with a good strong hand to it. Yeah. He did make a good save, but I don't know, like with the fixtures coming 2 or 3 in a week now, I wouldn't mind seeing Dubravka come back in, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
I know he has probably been our player of the season, but he hasn't been as good in recent games. Did all he could tonight, but for me, I don't know. I think Dubravka will come in with a big point to prove as well. He's conceded 2 the night, a couple the other day, a few before that, so maybe time just to freshen things up. I think. Kind of blame him, though. I see he's been probably our player of the season.
Yeah.
I'll take Jacob Murphy, I guess, who came in the night. Right wheel bingo for Brucey the night. Just pick your name out the hat. Tonight's number 23, Jacob Murphy. Step right up, son. You're playing the night. Get your boots on. You haven't played in a few weeks, but what's going on? It's absolutely mental how you go through this cycle of, you think Yedlin's your right back. Right, well, Yedlin hasn't got the visa anymore. Right, well, we're going to bring Manquillo back in. Manquillo, he was my man last year. I'll bring Manquillo back in. Manquillo's out in the cold. Well, Kraft plays now and again. Kraft's okay. Now this week it's Jacob Murphy. What the fuck's playing well, man? How can you be 19 months into a job and not know who your right back is? Murphy came in the night and just kind of proved to me that he's not really. And we know it. He's not a defender. I mean, he went on loan Sheffield Wednesday. He was a good winger there. What he showed to me was he put in a good couple of crosses, mainly in the first half. Lack of bodies in the box, though. Again, Bruce plays someone who can cross the ball when he doesn't have Andy Carroll up front. Mental. But Murphy's good going forward, not so good going defensively for me. Got quite out a couple times. Obviously, gave the ball away, didn't he, for Leeds' first goal, which was a huge error. Big slip up there. So I'll go down the middle. I'll give Jacob Murphy a 5. I'll let you have the man in the background there, Fabian Schär, who seemed to be back his best tonight in terms of bombing forward anyway.
Yeah, he was. It was obviously, we know that he's quite good. As I keep saying, like, he's kind of like a CDM a little bit. Like, he's kind of like in between, I would say, like a centre mid and a CDM, because he likes coming forward, but he also obviously defends pretty well. I really was worried in the first half when he went down again. I thought, oh God, his shoulder's injured again, it's dislocated again. And I was like, great, we don't have another centre back to fit in. That's just going to be absolutely fantastic news. But he soldiered on. He got stuck in. Him and Rodrigo had a bit of a tussle, and Schär came out with a burst lip as far as it looked like. So yeah, I was really, really happy to see him back to where he likes playing. I think, he likes coming forward a bit more and having that bit of attacking prowess, and I think he did a decent job, to be fair to him. I think it was pretty good. So if I give Karl Darlow 7, Schär can have a 7 as well.
Yeah, I'll go with Captain Lascelles, who tried to do a little bit of that tonight. He also got forward a couple of times. He won a free kick. He turned into a number 8 at one point. He thought he was Kieran Dyer or something. He was trying to turn Leeds players on the edge of their box, won a free kick. He had the odd chance at the end of it for a header. You know, had a couple of headers that skimmed away, took deflection. One just went over. So Lascelles was better tonight, definitely better, especially second half. A bit more presence. I don't know, it was the first time in a while that Newcastle actually came out for a second half with something about them, to be honest. And it still ultimately came to nothing, but at least they showed a bit more fight, a little bit more endeavour in getting forward and stuff, and even the centre-backs did that. So Lascelles can have a 6 tonight. I thought he did okay. Improvement. Isaac Hayden, who slotted in again, kind of in defence, kind of right back, kind of all over the shop, really, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was everywhere. I think he pretty much is when he plays there, because as I say, we've just got to shove him in at centre back. I don't know why they didn't just play 4 at the back and Isaac Hayden again in the middle, because I hate that Hendrick Shelvey partnership. I still hate it. I don't care what anyone says to us. I absolutely hate that partnership. I would much rather see Hayden in midfield, but he did a relatively good job. I think I said last week as well, not last week, last game, that he didn't really step a foot wrong necessarily, but in the position that he's playing in, like at the moment, obviously as sort of acting centre mid, it's kind of difficult for him to, do a lot, because he's having to cover for defence and cover for the midfield, who are atrocious. So it's difficult for him as well to do a lot of things. But yeah, I think Schär obviously stood out a little bit more for me. But Hayden did his job again, so he can have a 6.
I'll go on to Jamal Lewis then, who I'm campaigning for it. Like, drop Lewis as a defender and just put him on the wing, because he was doing all right getting forward. He gives that overlap option. He's got the pace. He gets the cross into the box. He just can't defend. He's got no positional awareness. He doesn't know where his man ever is. I mean, how many times have we seen Newcastle concede a goal lately, man, when there's been a man free in the box and they just had a free shot? You look at Madison, you look at Traore, and you look at tonight, Rafinha. It's absolutely outrageous, man. You always see Lewis just hanging about in the middle of the park, not even in the picture, not even in the defensive frame. But going forward, he offers a body, he offers a problem to the opposition, because they have to look and see where he is. And he should have scored. Saint-Maximin puts one on a play for him. He should at least get it on target. He seems to skim the ball. But he was better tonight in terms of, again, energy and stuff going forward. Yeah. But as a job as a defender, he just doesn't cut it. But I don't know. I'll give him a 5 for going forward and stuff. Shelvey?
I don't really know what to say about him anymore. Like, it's, as we've said before, he kind of stands out for his passing, or you forget that he was even there. Like, if he doesn't put a few decent passes in, because he's not like he doesn't really work hard necessarily. I wouldn't really say he's like one of the hardest workers in the team at all. And if he doesn't do that, he kind of is ghost. But again, I don't think he did anything necessarily wrong. Like, he didn't really make any mistakes. I've just remembered Hayden and for their second goal was ball watching. And I did give him a 6, but never mind. That's just occurred to us. But yeah, I don't think he did anything wrong. But again, I don't think he really changed the game a lot. We need like Lascelles was getting on the end of headers and stuff, but we need like a Carroll if you're going to play Shelvey, as we've said before. Like, we need someone who is an aerial threat, because Shelvey isn't like someone like Saint-Maximin who can direct the ball into the box through footwork or dribbling or anything like that. So, I mean, I don't think it was bad or anything, but he can have a 5.
One bit of forward that he did do. That's probably right, because he ultimately wasted a couple of chances. He wasted a header as well. He put a header over from when he started letting Fraser take corners. He put a header over when Shelvey was in the box, took a deflection. But he's crossing from corners was better today, and he did have a bit of footwork on the side where he tried to feed through to Wilson, and then it was intercepted. It looked like it fell to Wilson on the plate. But again, it's so frustrating watching Shelvey on it, especially first half, mainly first half.
Yeah.
Because he was just lashing at balls and all. He fizzled one wide. I wouldn't even say fizzled. He dribbled one wide. It
was nowhere near as allowed. I was like, oh, because I thought it was close.
When it's exciting to see a shot near the goal, and it was just pathetic. One went flying over the bar from a free kick. And I was saying, so what did you give Shelby there, did you say?
A 5.
So a 5 for Shelby. I'll go on to Hayden. I was saying during the watch along, I generally think that's the worst midfield partnership in Premier League. Jonjo Shelvey and Jeff Hendrick. There's 2 centre mid. I don't think anyone can name me a centre mid pot, because if we're going to get relegated, right? If you look around, if one team's going to slip into the bottom 3, it's most likely going to be us or Brighton. You look at Brighton, we've got like Basuma in the middle of the park, an absolute animal. We've got Hendrick and Shelvey, passengers. You wouldn't even notice if either of them weren't playing.
No,
you really
that's
wouldn't.
what I mean. I either realise Hendrick's being awful and like, oh, he's so awful, or Shelvey, oh, he did a really decent pass. If neither of them do any of them things, it's like, oh, didn't play? Like, really there?
Yeah. You could have told me Jeff Hendrick was playing the night, Shelby was playing the night, Sean Longstaff was playing the night, I thought Clarence Acuna was playing the night. I wouldn't know the difference. There was just you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know, just completely gone missing. Not of them are offering anything where I can't understand it. The transfer window, we've got a week left of it. It's an area we really need to look at. Even if it is, I wasn't overly keen on him, Hamza Chowdhury from Leicester, but if he's the one we're going to get in on loan, I'll give him a chance. I'll give him a shot. Yeah. I'd give Saibi a shot at this point, because none of these are doing anything. Hendrick can have a 3 for me. Like.
Yeah.
Who else we've got? I'll give you Ryan Fraser.
He is a lot better on corners, I must admit. If he's going to be on dead balls, I would much prefer that. He's just better for me in terms of that. And again, though, like, he played for like 10 minutes after Saint-Maximin came on. Like, what is this thing with Bruce where he doesn't want to play Fraser and Maximin at the same time? I don't get it. Like, it's really weird. Imagine them two, because I think Fraser, like, creatively did quite a lot tonight. I think he was like a lot better than we've seen him. And at least he was actually trying to do something. Like, but I mean, he gave a couple of really bad balls away in the first half, and the first half was awful. I think everyone was awful in the first half. I'll not lie about that. But yeah, I think he was a lot better tonight. I think he did a relatively decent job, but I would like to see more of him. I'd like him to stay fit for another chance, because he's always gets a knock and he's out for, he has one decent game, he's out for 3 or whatever. So yeah, he can have a 6.
I think we need to just utilise Fraser more. Like you said there, if we can get Saint-Maximin and Fraser and Almirón as like a 3 behind Callum Wilson, yeah. I think that's the way we go forward, and that's how we score goals and pick up points heading into the second half of the season to try and stay up. Like, it's the best thing we can do. Kind of jumped the gun a little bit there, jumping to Ryan Fraser, so I jumped backwards to Miguel Almirón, who got a goal tonight. Obviously, I think he was a bit lucky, like, because I think the keeper should have done better. Yeah. He didn't quite get his hands on it as much as he should have. But at least it was on target. At least he scored. You know, he had one in the first half from outside the box where it was just so weak and tame. But I think what we're seeing in Miggy, as soon as he got his goal, his confidence went up. And we know that's a huge thing in football, like confidence, momentum for individual players and teams. As soon as Almirón got his goal, he thought, you could see he rose a little bit, his shoulders went up a little bit. He did a turn in the halfway line, took on 2 or 3 players, caused a bit more of a problem, got stuck in more, wanted the ball a little bit more. That's what we need, because I remember his debut, that's what he was like. He came from the MLS, he was full of confidence because he was banging goals every week.
Remember those days, like, seriously, remember them, like.
And you look at him on his debut, and he went one-on-one and lobbed it. Huddersfield keeper hit the post. Today, that's what he tried to do. Try to pick the ball up, make things happen, turn his man, beat his man, and progress up the pitch. And we need to see more of that. So hopefully we do. Almirón, I'll give him a 7 today for his goal as well. A good 7. And Callum Wilson?
I don't want to slate him, right? Because everyone knows that I love him, but he's not getting a lot of service, and because I said it's the exact same against the Aston Villa game, because he's not a player who tracks back a lot, or like, you know, he's not like a striker in the sense like he'll go and try and intercept the ball and play it into the box. Like, he's not that sort of player at all, and he's having to be because we play so deeply. But again tonight, I mean, he got 5 FPL points, which, I mean, that's fair enough. That's better than what he's had recently a lot. So, but again, he didn't really do much. And if we're going to score a goal, you'd hope that it was him. I mean, he hasn't scored in. Yeah, it'll be did he say he hadn't scored in 6 before the game? So it'll be obviously 7 now, which isn't really that. It's not great for us, like our main striker. Do you know what I mean? But I don't blame him fully because, as we say, we're not getting service into the box at all from crosses, from balls in corners. We're just not getting any service at all, really. So I can't blame him, but he didn't really do much for me. So he can have a 5, I guess.
He looked pissed off to me, like. He looked from minute go. He just looked like, not that he couldn't be arsed because he does grasp, but even when he was holding up the play, he was like in the Leeds defender's face a little bit. He cuts a frustrated figure, like, and it's understandable. Like you said,
he's tempers a flare, and I think, yeah.
So we'll see with him, but it was a good assist. It was good, quick thinking to lay it off to Almirón, who went 1-on-1 and put it in the back of the net. Saint-Maximin, who came off the bench, our saviour. Trying to keep Brucey in a job is what Steve will be hoping for anyway. Definitely brought the game to life in the 10 minutes that he came on. He had an impact. How much I've missed him, turn defenders and winning free kicks in dangerous positions, that type of thing. So we need to get him on the pitch from a minute go as well. Like we said before with Ryan Fraser, but Saint-Maximin, the impact he had, he seemed to give everyone else a bit of a boost around him, which he will do. Interesting to see. I want to get your thoughts on this. I'll give Saint-Maximin a 6. Big Oaks was on the fan cam before, and obviously keep an eye out for that when it gets released. Everyone in the comments and who's watching this backwards now. He was saying, Saint-Maximin's got his own agenda. He thinks he'll be away in the summer. He thinks he's performing to try and get a move from Newcastle. Do you think that's the same?
Yeah, I think it probably is, because I know before, obviously, he had COVID and stuff. He the 3 games after he signed his contract, his new contract, he was awful. Like, it was like he wasn't even there. He just was ghost. He was not pretending, but he was like limping every time he got fouled. His head was down. So obviously now he's seen probably the shit show that's going on, and he's thought to himself, "Oh God, like I really need to actually fix up here and do something and not be lazy, because now this is his chance to get the move." So actually, to be fair, I do agree with Uggs in that sense. Like he probably is for his own agenda. I don't think he'll be, I don't think he's got an affinity with us as much as to say he'll want to pick the team up and help us to succeed. I don't think that'll relatively be the case. So yeah, I can probably get on board with that. And if he just get a move, I'm never going to blame him. Never, ever going to blame him. I just hope it's not to a Premier League club. That's all I can realistically hope for. So.
Well said. I mean, Gayle was the last sub, but 10, 12 minutes there, I can't remember him even having an impact or getting a chance to have an impact, really. Not. When you bring Gayle on, you want to put the ball on a play from him. You want to let him have a shot in the box or half a chance, or try and beat him on. Didn't do now from him, did we? Didn't give him a rating. So it's that time of the weekend. Let's see Bruce time. So everyone's game for.
Everyone, you know what? Before the game, he looked really upset. He was just sat there and he was like staring into space, and I thought, get in, this is the beginning of the end. Like, yes. I was thinking, please just get beat 5-0. I'll just love it. Oh my God, Kevin Keegan. Anyways, the demon of Kevin Keegan took over us. Tonight, I really don't want to hear, I feel like I picked the right team, and because at first you didn't. Because if you look at the first half, well, it was just the worst thing I've ever seen, really. It was just horrific. I mean, Jeff Hendrick was in the box and tried to play a pass between 2 Leeds players. Did anyone see that? Oh, God, it was so awful. If he wants respect from me, and if he wants a proper rating from me this week, Steve Bruce, right, any week, don't ever play Hendrick and Shelvey again midfield together. Seriously, I mean that now, Steve. Please, I hope you watch this. I hope Alex watches it. I hope somebody close to you watches this, because I seriously cannot have Hendrick and Shelvey again. I will lose my mind. I will honestly go grey if I see that again. I can't do it. Stop playing Jacob Murphy when you haven't got Andy Carroll on, or someone in the box who's an aerial threat, because he crosses the ball and there's no one there to get it, because that's just how we are, because we play so deep and there's no one in the box. Bringing Saint-Maximin on, I'll give you it. I would say it was a stroke of genius, but that's probably a bit exaggerating, because, you've got Saint-Maximin on the bench. It doesn't take a genius to realise he's going to change the game. So, yes, I agree. You brought him on earlier than usual, because realistically, I probably would have had him on a half time, like, if it was me. But I'm not Steve Bruce, thank God. So, yeah, we like to see Saint-Maximin more. We'd like to see Fraser more. Until he starts setting up the team to play for 90 minutes the way we did in that second half, I'll give him credit. I will give him credit if that happens. But I very, 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 very highly doubt that's going to happen, because all he's going to do is look at the team tonight and think, 2-1 against Leeds, not that bad. As he always said, damage limitation. So he's just going to go exactly the same to Everton and think, well, you know, it worked out pretty well. And all he'll do is probably stick Saint-Maximin on instead of whoever, probably instead of Ryan Fraser, the way his mind works. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'll see what he does at Everton. But, he can have... It wasn't the worst thing ever tonight. His first setup was horrible, but it wasn't the worst thing ever. So, Steve, I'll give you a 3 tonight. I think that's generous. I think that's nice for me, because I'm not nice to you. So I think that's very nice for me. And that's only because you did play Saint-Maximin at an earlier time than I thought you would. And you did go attacking in the second half, which I'll give you a lot of credit for. But as I say, until I see that for 90 minutes, or most of the 90 minutes we play football, I'll think the same.
I think you've got it spot on. I think because at half time, as I said before, I think for the first time under Steve Bruce, we came out better than we did in the first half, to be honest. And Saint-Maximin did make a difference for the first 10 15 minutes that he did come on, he did get a play. But I have to say, he had one sub left, and I don't know why he didn't use it. We had loads of Leeds fans in the chat at half time saying, if you bring Andy Carroll on, you will win the game, because defenders can't. They're saying the likes of Cooper and that at the back really struggle with crosses into the box. We had Murphy on at that point, we had Fraser on at that point. Just do something with that last sub, with 10 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go. If you 5 minutes to go and you bring Carroll on, he's going to cause problems. He's going to worry the defenders. Cooper or anyone, Dallas, and see Carroll on and think, I'm in for a nightmare.
Straight away, elbow in my header's going to go in. This is what I mean. Steve Bruce is always only a little bit of the way there. He's never the full way there. He always does one good thing and makes it like he's done the best thing in the whole wide world, but he's never all the way there. As you say, what's the point in not using your final sub? Especially when it's 2-1, the game's winnable. Not winnable, but you can get a point from it. So I don't know why I did that. I completely agree with you 100%, and the Leeds fans who said the same.
Right then, I think that'll do for this week. Thanks for joining with Kendall.
No, thank you for having me again, as always.
Pleasure. Make sure everyone checks out Kendall's channel. The link will be in the description. Keep your comments coming. I'll try to reply to them tomorrow. Kendall, hopefully we'll see you on Saturday after the Everton game.
Yes, you will. And hopefully maybe we can kick on, and have a better, maybe 60 minutes of nice football. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
55.
Maybe 45 minutes. I'll start there and then I'll edge up a bit to 60.
Right, cheers for watching, everyone. Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Kendall, and we'll see you later.